Hi, good day, good night, good evening, depending on what time you happen to be watching this. Welcome to another episode of House of Stars. I am your girl Star, and today, as you can see from the title, this video is titled How to Spot an Accurate Psychic, or if everyone wants to say it this way, how to spot a fake. So I am not really 100% organized for this video. Like, this is kind of like a rant video, but I'm just gonna give some advice and tips how to find a psychic. As you know, I'm a psychic myself, but I do go get readings from other psychics. You know, I can't read myself. It's usually not good to really read yourself, and it's not in the sense that it's really a bad thing. You just mess with the accuracy of the cards, because considering if your feelings too involved in what you are reading on, or depending if it's something that you want to see or you are worried that you're going to see something bad. For me, for example, I don't read with cards. I do have cards. Actually, I don't even know if I really have cards anymore because I use cards for other things. But I have siblings that have cards, and I've tried to read on my own. It hasn't seemed like I'm able to figure out exactly what makes sense. So usually I go get readings with other people. I actually do have two dear friends that are psychic, but at the same time, I'd say I'm not saying that they're not accurate with anything they ever tell me, but it's like sometimes it's they're a bit biased, or they have a hard time picking up, because of course these are people that actually care about me, and it goes vice versa. I actually care about them. So depending on the situation, we have a hard time really not involving our own feelings with the reading or exactly what we are picking up. But right now in this video, I'm going to give you a few tips how to spot if a psychic's actually accurate. Now, one thing that I do pride myself on accuracy. I'm a person, and this is not just about my abilities, this is just in general, anything that I do. I always want to strive for the best, especially when it involves somebody else. So for me, considering that you guys obviously take your hardworking money, even though going to psychic is not like a cure like you're going to get from a doctor, at the end of the day, you do put your faith in us to give you an accurate reading and help you out with whatever life situation you're going through, and getting the intuitive insight that you need. So one thing I would like to say how to spot, first things first, when you're looking at a psychic, you got to really connect yourself. I know that a lot of people don't trust their own intuition. I know that I have a certain intuition to myself that I go by and I trust. But first things first, when seeing a psychic, take a good look at how they make you feel when you see them. So if it's face to face and you don't necessarily get a good feeling, honor that. If you don't get a feeling that the person is, I wouldn't say swindling, pay attention. Overall, just pay attention to your feelings and how you feel when you are connecting with a psychic. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it has anything to do with their accuracy. Sometimes you have to understand that your spirits, your guides that you have, and the guys that they work with may not be spirits. They are probably not communicating well with each other, in a sense where they're not able to communicate the message or relay the message that you need effectively. So that is something that you need to look at. A next thing too, what I always look at as well, and I'm terrible for this, and I'm trying my damnedest to keep up with this, is testimonies. Okay. Now, when it comes to testimonies, I think one thing you need to look at is, how the person writes the testimony. Have they wrote, has a person picked up on their situation effectively? If it's a follow-up testimony that person has said, what they told me was true and everything they said has come to pass. Those are things that you need to look out for. Because if you always say oh, it was such an amazing reading, that's I find that's a little bit cryptic to me. Because say you got a reading with a person and the person told you a whole bunch of shit just to make you feel good about yourself, and it wasn't really anything that was accurate. It's just them telling you nice things. I'm not saying that telling you nice things means that doesn't result in accuracy, but at the same time, there's some people you read that some people don't have a true understanding of what a true accurate reading is. So something that has to involve the description of how the psychic reading went, and also if you see any testimonies of follow-up is something that you need to look forward to as well, and that will determine if you've picked the right psychic. Another thing as well, that I always tell people, there's no such thing as a bad reading. There's things that you're not going to want to hear. There are things that may hurt your feelings because maybe, you were hoping to hear something a little bit more positive than you heard. But there's no such thing as a bad reading. You got to keep in mind that when somebody's reading on your situation, especially if they're reading it effectively and just telling you what they see, it's life. At the end of the day, life is not always great. Life is not always a bed of roses. Things are not necessarily going to go the way that you expect them to be. And sometimes your suspicions are probably things, or maybe you're expecting, one of your suspicions to be confirmed, and it's totally opposite of what's really being seen. You got to keep in mind as well, like, when you do get a right reading and somebody does tell you something that's not necessarily the greatest, keep in mind, like, don't shoot the messenger. You know what I mean? It's like the person's just relaying the message to you. This has nothing to do with the fact that they're trying to be inflicting a negativity on you or whatever the case may be. It's just really, sometimes things are not the way they need to be. So overall, what I always say to people when you do get readings, like, always take everything for a grain of salt, because you really can't put something in concrete unless the situation has come to pass and it's manifested the way that reader has predicted. Another thing that I want to say as well, when it comes to accuracy. Now, you have a lot of people that, offer additional services along with the reading, okay? You got to keep in mind that, in certain situations, maybe if it's a love situation, or it could be a money situation and somebody has read on your situation and you have maybe some money issues, or they feel like you have certain blocks in your energy and they want to open the energy up for you so that your rose could be open and something could work for you. Keep in mind that, people are going to offer their services. Now, where I feel like if you spot a fake or somebody that is trying to maybe overcharge what their services are, is based on how much they charge you. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to the products that we use in this kind of work, or when it comes to cleansing, a lot of the stuff is not expensive because a lot of things are from the earth. They're either herbs, or things like that. Like, I think when you get into things that are a little bit more pricier is like when you get into candles or when you get into like oils and things like that. Now, you got to keep in mind as well the person's area. Okay. So for example, if you are reading somebody that's maybe in the United States and somebody that works predominantly in the South, and they're turning around and telling you, okay, it's gonna be $1,000 to help you get a job. Like, that's a little bit unreasonable. That's when the person is really trying to like use their wit to get what they want from you. Because realistically, if they knew any better, they know that you don't have the money to even afford to pay $1,000. And second, like, I don't care what you have. I don't even care if you plucked the hairs out of Jesus's ass. It's not going to cost you $1,000 to do some work. Now, again, as I am a spiritual worker, and I'm not going to try to knock down anyone else's work because I don't know how everyone does the things that they do. But as a person in the past I'm still a client to some, but a person that was strictly a client and a consumer when it came to readings, rather than being a psychic, I've been scammed out of a lot of money. And to be honest, a lot of the things that when I look back now that they got me to do and I paid for, I'm like that shit comes from Walmart. Wait a second. Like, if I'm paying you to do something, why am I doing all the work? You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say that, there's not things that, psychics can offer you and make you do the work yourself, because there's some things that require your own energy. But at the same time, when it comes to a lot of different work, depending on your area and where you are, it's required that somebody that's actually a practitioner does it, considering that they have the right energy, they have the right connection to their spirits and their guides to carry out the work effectively. Now, so going on with that's obviously, price ranges and stuff and things that you need to look out for. If a person's really trying to charge you a lot of money, and things like that. Keep in mind, people have their services and what they charge, product and time, or whatever the case may be. You don't know what their structure is. But if you ever have any questions on why things are so much, always ask them exactly where the money is going to. You know what I mean? Like, is it going to the product itself? Is it going to your service charge and what you charge to actually do the work? Does it go to your time? Try to figure all these things out. Another thing as well, which you need to understand, a lot of people do get readings, and they get readings. They'll get a reading with one reader, and then they'll go to another reader because they just want to get, an opinion of two different readers or a few different readers, which that's fine. You know what I mean? But keep in mind, another tip that I want to tell people, and one thing I don't like, and I always tell my clients this, if you've ever gotten a reading with me, I don't like you to tell me too much about the situation. You know what I mean? Like, if you tell me, like, you're like, okay, so this is what happened, me and my boyfriend, I don't want to know all of that. All I just want to know is, what's his name? What's your name? What happened? What do you, like, not even what happened. I just want to know, what do you want to know? You know what I mean? Because that allows me to dwell totally in the spiritual realm of deciphering and relaying the message that spirit wants you to know. If I know too much of the situation, which maybe other psychic readers that are watching this can contest to, I feel like I start to use my human brain and my own opinion about the whole situation. So now I'm talking to you like a friend and giving you my advice as a friend, or somebody that doesn't know you from a can of paint, or, you know what I mean? Like a very human-based answer rather than giving you a psychic-based answer. Because really that's what's important. That's what you're paying for. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. Like, when you come to a reader, like, see and try to decipher how much information they're really trying to get out of you. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's different ways of divination. Now, a lot of people think that I read with cards. I don't read with cards. I'm an energy channeler. A lot of people that have gotten readings with me on the phone before, I do mainly phone, because like half the time, I'm not going to lie, you probably wouldn't want to see how I look like when half you guys get a reading with me. So I do it on the phone, and I'm strictly an energy channeler. So the pitch of your voice, the energy that's channeling through your voice, and your energy that's coming through the phone is what I'm reading. And that's what's going to that's when I channel that, that's how the information relate to my guides. And then my guys tell me exactly what it is that's going on. You know what I mean? Now, there's people that actually read with cards. Now, a lot of people that I know, like, I have friends that are card readers, and they don't need cards, but they like to read with cards because, like, it's me speaking to them, they're like, sometimes, like, a lot of clients that I've met, like, they just like to feel like they see something. Like, they like to see something more tangible. So keep that in mind, that, like, not all readers use the same way of divination to read. You know what I mean? But it's whatever you're comfortable with. I haven't really had a client yet turn me down because I didn't read tarot, but I explained to them that I just don't read tarot. You know what I mean? A majority of you guys come from here, but I don't read tarot. I strictly channel. You know what I mean? So you got to keep in mind, you have to go with what divination you're most comfortable with. Okay. I know people that don't like tarot cards at all. Like, I've had clients that come to me and be like, if I knew you read tarot, I wouldn't come to you. You know what I mean? Because people have had bad experiences before, with other psychics, or they're like, oh, you have a curse on you, and it's going to cost this much because I see it in the cards. It's a very much of it's like a method and a medium of something that has carried a lot of negative energy. When it comes to people in our line of work, and I understand that, but keep in mind that, it's about who reads the cards and what kind of spirits they allow to go into those cards. It's not really the people that are reading the cards. And again, like I can emphasize before, don't shoot the messenger. You know what I mean? People are only telling you what they see. It's not like they want the worst to happen to you. Like, they don't know you from a can of paint. All they're there to do is tell you exactly what they see. Okay? Now, this is a thing that people do that tick me off, because I am a channeler, so I go based on your energy. So if anyone knows, or you even see in my videos, I breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. What I'm actually doing is literally channeling the energy of that person so that I can read them. So if you're trying to play these tricks and trades, like trying to trick me, like, let me see how accurate she is, I want to see what she picks up, and try to close yourself off to me, you're wasting your money with me, because I'm not going to try to break down your walls to see to get past what you want me to see. If you're open, I'm going to read you effectively. If you try to close me off, now I'm going to have to trick and try to find ways to read you, which is not a good thing, because what you're doing is you're wasting time and you're wasting your money. Okay. Keep in mind also, when it comes to that and why I don't do that, there's a lot of people that, even though I am a psychic and they feel that I know everything in the world, like I'm not God, I can pick up a lot of things, yes, and a lot of things can be accurate, but at the same time, I can't see everything. If that was the case, I wouldn't be sitting here on YouTube for the money that I do make. But keep in mind that there's people that have a level of privacy. Like they're still human, and I'm still human. They don't want to be judged, and at the same time, they're talking to a perfect stranger. So at times, they want a level of privacy, but they don't want me to know things, and I have to respect that. So keep in mind that if anything, if you're going to sit down with a psychic, the best thing you should do if you want an effective reading and you want a good damn one worth your bang, your buck, definitely keep yourself open to hear whatever they have to say. Keep in mind though, like even if you keep yourself open and you don't necessarily get the greatest reading, then the person hasn't connected to your energy. This can also be with the sake of the person not wanting to really read you effectively, because they're really there to get the money, and they're really there to get to what they really want to do is get to try to charge you for additional services at astronomical prices. Or you have a person that, again, their spirit's just not agreeing with you. You know what I mean? At the same time, when it also comes to getting a reading, make sure you always go into it with a positive mindset. Keep in mind that you need to open yourself to hear whatever you want, okay? I think people put such a big emphasis when they hear bad news on it, like it's the end of the world. And it's like, listen, you've been through a lot more terrible shit before you met me, and you were fine. The only thing that puts emphasis on the fact that it's something that you may not want to hear and may not be so good is the fact that you're hearing it in advance. So now you've kind of taken the information and put an extra level onto it as it being extremely negative. But if it were something that crossed your path and you didn't see it coming, you would already have that natural defense to be able to deal with it, because you can only be strong from here because you've been put in a situation that you did not see coming. So keep that in mind as well. Like, don't take everything that you hear or something that's not too pleasant as the end of the world, because it's not. Like, half of the people that I know that have come to me have been through way worse than any situation that they're actually coming to talk to me about. So let's see, after getting a reading and you find that your reader is accurate, okay? And I love testimonies. I always tell people, like, keep in touch. And when I say keep in touch, I say, let me know what's going on, because I need to, like, being a reader, even though I have this gift, I need to be constantly reminded that I'm doing my job correctly. You know what I mean? It is my job. It's the same way that if you work at McDonald's and you have your 369s and you're dragged into the office every month with the manager to go over your growth and what you need to work on and things like that. I want to know the same, because at the same time, even though I have a number of psychic clients, especially worldwide as well, like I have clients that stretch from here in Canada all the way to Oceania, I definitely want to know that I am doing my job effectively and what I've said was accurate. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't need you to be like, okay, let me come and pay for a reading again. Like, that doesn't need to happen. Usually, and this is the next thing too, why I do this is because you have to understand, I am working. I have a life. Not only do I have my own life and trying to get my shit together for what I need to do, I also have other clients that are calling me, other people that need me to give them their undivided attention. So when I say to you, hey, come and get a reading with me, that means that I want to give you my undivided attention and not trying to do 50 things at once while I'm trying to read you, because not all the time my channel's open. There's times that I am star, and I could be star like most of the day. Everywhere I go, I want to read people, and I'm on the phone and I'm like literally reading you all the time. Or there's times where I just want to be Tashia and I just don't want to give a shit. I just want to talk about stupid stuff and vent about my day and how it sucks and who pissed me off today, and and this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? Rather than read all the damn time. And this is why you have to understand, like, when it comes to other psychics, not even just myself, but just other psychics, that, if you want an accurate reading, you should always put yourself in a position where that person is getting, you're getting your undivided attention from that person. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I always ask, like, follow up, how's things going? Is it, okay, this has come to pass. Like, this is what you said is true. I love getting those. So don't ever feel like shy if you ever get a reading with me, or even your reader, not even myself, but other readers that you may have. Let them know they're doing a good job. Let them know that they got you on the money, because they need to know this. Because in that sense, it's easier. It makes it, well, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, it makes it more easier for my channel to be open. So that the more I get, the more I'm comfortable saying than holding back some things, because I'm like, I'm not sure, let me just wait and see how strong that one's coming in, or whatever the case may be. Like, for example, like, I've had clients where I've been talking to them, and in unfortunate circumstances, they have their spouse that's cheating, and I'm like, I pick it up, but I won't say anything unless I see a face. I won't say anything unless I could give them a description of how the person looks like. This is not because I'm expecting that woman to go searching for this woman, but at least I know if I see this person, she really is there. But if I'm having a hard time seeing the person and they're lurking in the shadows, I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant to say anything. I'm like, I'll give you a heads up. Like, I'll say something like, like, I'll use, verbiage as saying, part of me feels like there's some kind of distraction. You know what I mean? But if I see a face, I'm like, honey, so this is the same. So the girl looks like this is how, whatever. I believe that she met her hair, blah, 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 blah. But if I can't see anything, then I can't just blow smoke up your ass. I just can't. You know where I am. You know my number. You know my outlets. You know everything. I just can't take the embarrassment. So that's the thing with that situation. But again, when it comes to finding an accurate reader, I know I've been talking about myself, but that's because, like, I don't know. There's so much readers do things so differently, and I haven't gotten a reading from any other psychic that's on YouTube yet. And there's no reason for it. I just haven't, because more the people that, the kind of readings that I get are kind of different than the readings that people provide here. Like, I think the person I would get a reading with, that I think that she's like, there's a couple that are real. There's one that's called One Psychic Witch. That girl has a strong channel. I think it's One Psychic Witch. I hope that's her name. But she has a strong channel. Like, when I felt her energy watching that video, I'm like, that bitch is the truth. I don't even care. Like, that's who I want her to do a reading for me. I actually emailed her, but she didn't email me back. I don't know if she uses the same email, because she hasn't done a video in a while. So she has a very strong channel. Starseed Healer. That's somebody that I would want to read me. Just because I know she deals with the Orisha, she deals with ancestry and spirits and Oguns. Like, that's my shit. So I would definitely love to get a reading with her, but I haven't got one yet. That's because also I don't get readings that often. So, because I already have my friends, like, I have one friend that we do this thing called weeklies. So we literally will tell each other the week ahead and what's going to happen in the next week or the next 2 weeks or the month of November. Like, it's like horoscopes, but it's like psychic horoscopes. So, like, I'm content with that. Like, you know what I mean? Or I have my next friend where it's like, we're just talking and I'm like, girl, like, am I bugging? Like, is it just me? Am I getting this right? Or am I just really bugging? You know what I mean? And then next to that, I don't really get readings, but yeah, like, I just feel like every psychic has their own style of how they conduct business, how they actually conduct their readings, and the code of conduct they follow when dealing with clients is very different. But overall, when I say when finding a psychic, I would say finding an accurate psychic or finding a psychic, if they're fake or not, is be very cautious of price points. You know what I mean? Just because somebody charges a lot doesn't mean they're really accurate. Because I've seen people that have charged $150 and literally like they charge $150 because they've made it up in their mind that they think they're worth that much. And that's okay. I'm not going to say that's the case. Another big thing to look at is testimonies. Or just if they have any, ask them. Because I'm not gonna lie, like when it comes to us as like readers and stuff, because we already have some clients, a lot of us don't invest a lot in social media, like having people keep up with their social media or even keeping up with it ourselves. So there's times that, you know, our testimonies are not updated. If you've seen the last few posts I've put up some testimonies, but not all the time am I doing that. You know what I mean? The third thing that I think you should look for, especially if they were to offer extra services where it comes to like spiritual cleansings, or if you want to bring your lover back, you know, to each your own. That's all on you, what you decide to do. Be very cautious of price points. Like if you're hearing something that's crazy, like within the thousands or the high hundreds, like I would be a little bit cautious about that. And also be very considerate about areas. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if people know this, because I know these things, but if a person is in an area that is predominantly very populated with people that practice, say, hoodoo or santeria and stuff like that in the open. Like, for example, I find if you are trying to get a reading with somebody that works more into living more predominantly populated Hispanic areas, because I find within the Hispanic culture, they don't necessarily, when they have candles and stuff, they use prayer candles a lot and stuff, because it's a very strong Catholic influence in their culture. So you can get things for low cost that way. Like I live in Canada, it sucks out here. And if anyone that knows that lives in Canada, like it's really hard. Like when you find something, you stumbled upon a gold mine. And it's very expensive as well, because a lot of stuff that we do have, we get it from the States. And we have to pay an exchange rate because Canada's dollar is lower than the Americans. So it becomes very costly. So that's something else that you need to look into. Also, another big advice that I give, don't shoot the messenger. Take your readings for a grain of salt. It's advice at the end of the day. The person that you're reading to, this is not the God hotline that he has to scroll there and he's reading off the page. Take everything for a grain of salt. Wait for things to pass first before giving full judgment on anything being accurate or inaccurate. So that's it. That is my video on how to spot an accurate psychic versus spotting a fake. So if you'd like to get a reading with me, you can always hit me up on the email that is in the description box. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter and like my page on Facebook, and own me up to it. I am going to put more testimonial up and things like that. If you have any video ideas, drop them in the description box. Tell me what you feel about this video. If you have anything that is non-celebrity psychic reading related that you want to know about, maybe I'll do a video on it. Put it in here. So I do want to thank you so much for your time. May God bless you and the angels protect you. Good night.